Hello, Barbara. How are you?
Hello, Nizam. I'm very fine. Thank you.
And thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to interview you.
My pleasure, very much.
So, friends, we have Barbara Scholl here. She grew up in Switzerland, Brazil, and the USA. She's married and a mother of 3 teenagers. Through her brother, she came into contact with hypnosis at teenage. And now, here we are to discuss about how hypnosis can be applied to kids. She's a speaker of Hypno Summit, speaker of Hypno Thoughts, Omni instructor, author, she is the launcher of Hypno Kids virtual reality. Wow, I want to know more about it. Take over Hypno Kids. And thank you very much for bringing this beautiful hypnosis modality to kids. So here comes my first question to you, Barbara. Like, can hypnosis be used with children?
Yes. Yeah. First of all, I would like to thank you, Nizam, for having me. It's my great pleasure to talk about child hypnotherapy because there's such a such a big lack of hypnotherapists for children and adolescents, for teenagers. Yes. And so my goal today is to pass on my passion for children's hypnotherapy. And once people hear about it and they understand, okay, this is easy, this is cool, then suddenly they consider entering the field of hypnotherapy for the youngsters. So if today I can open up the hearts of your audience, then I'm very, very happy, because the leverage I get when people also work with children, that's my my wish, or from my heart.
Wow, amazing.
And now, in regard to children, yes, actually it is very easy to work with children and teenagers. So also, just for today, when I say children, I also include young teenagers and teenagers. All right. So the fantastic thing is that very young children, they are in the state of hypnosis about 70 to 80% per day. When they play with water, when they play with sand, when they play Barbie or Lego, or they're a pirate, they really think they are a pirate or they're Barbie, right? So they are very, very open to suggestions, because the critical faculty has not yet developed. Okay. The critical faculty, that's the filter, right, for the subconscious mind. It starts developing at the age of 5, and then until the age of 12, and then the programming on the subconscious mind is finished of how the child feels about him or herself. If he is courageous, rather shy, good in math, good at sports, a morning person, or chaotic or not chaotic. So all this stuff is afterwards programmed. And so, yes, it is actually very easy to work with children and teenagers. And it's also very rewarding. It's less formal. So it means that you have fun in therapy. It's a lot of fun.
Amazing. And I have underlined the word easy, which you said multiple times, because thanks for giving that assurance. Again, my question is it safe to use hypnosis with kids?
Yeah. That's a very good question, because I think that's the question parents ask themselves before they bring in their children, right? And so I think it's just very, very important that the website we have when we work with children replies to all these questions. And we all know that the self-protection, the self-protection of every human being does refuse any suggestion which are not safe. They're refused, they're pushed out. So we never can put any negative suggestions in any person, and of course not in children. So yes, it's safe. And I'm very glad that I had the opportunity. I was invited to write a book here in Europe about child and teen hypnotherapy, and it is for the broad public. So it's lovely when then people read about the therapy method and they're like, oh, wow, this is cool. I never imagined that hypnotherapy is like that.
Yes.
And another really great advantage, Nizam, is that when you work with children afterwards, and you do a good job, of course, then afterwards, the parents, especially the mothers, right? They like to chit chat. Afterwards, the mothers afterwards, they go out and at the playground, they like tell all their girlfriends, oh my God, I took my child to hypnotherapy. It was really cool. So they talk about it. When we have adults, very often, they don't tell others that they went to see a hypnotherapist for depression or for burnout or, you know, whatever it is, because they're sort of ashamed. And what happens afterwards is so it's mouth to mouth recommendation, which is, it gives a lot of business. And if you work with one child and you do a good job, they bring in child number 2, child number 3. Plus the parents come in as well. So yes, it is absolutely safe. We just need to communicate this to the parents.
Okay. So as we are talking about the safety, is it equally beneficial to the kids if we work online, or do you suggest face-to-face? What do you suggest?
That's
Due to pandemic and all that.
Yes. Well, that's a good question. I know that I'm based here in Switzerland, in Zurich. So the thing is, distances are very short here. So people maybe they travel like 1-2 hours and they come see me, right? So it's no problem. So I only do one-to-one therapy. But however, I understand in a country like India, Australia, the US, wherever these big countries, the second best solution is online. However, since I work with regression, this means we go back to the cause, the cause of the symptom. It is much preferred if we have the person or the child, the teenager with us, so we can touch and we can comfort and all that. So, but yes, if I lived in a big country, I would do probably online as well.
Okay. Thank you for that clarifying. And what kind of issues can be resolved using hypnosis with kids?
Yes. Well, let me quickly point out. The thing is that the Hypno Kids training that I teach, there's many other trainings out there, of course, as well. I divide like for children younger than 6 and children older than 6. Okay. And the thing is that for my training, I have like it's like a cake recipe, how to bake a cake. So this is the entire process, how I lead therapists through working with younger kids. And then afterwards, this is as of the age of 7 and so forth. This is the entire process, how we work with older kids. Okay. So first, I need to say that maybe before I go into the topics of which are typical symptoms of youngsters, for the very small ones, we cannot use regression yet. They cannot very often close their eyes yet, right? So with the very small children, we use direct suggestions, we use storytelling, we use compounding, we use part therapy. So we use all that stuff, right? And as soon as they get older and then they can close their eyes, afterwards we can do a formal induction, we do deepeners, and then we do regression. As soon as a child cognitively can follow the process of regression, then we work with that because it just gives us very fast results. Now, in regard to the question, for the smaller ones, topics are very often bedwetting or getting rid of Pampers. They don't want to get rid of Pampers. Thumb sucking is a topic. Then, of course, a lot of fears and phobias. A lot of, yeah. And since the emotions, they first have to learn all about emotions. So they cannot name the emotions yet when they're very small.
Yeah.
So usually they just say, I have a stomach ache, right? Everything goes into the stomach and they have a stomach ache. So, and it might be some other topic, but that's just where they accumulate all the symptoms. So these are the small, for example, they cannot sleep in their own bed. They're afraid of a dentist, bullying, they're very shy, stuff like that, right? So these are a lot of topics for very small children, sleeping alone in bed, sleeping at the grandparents, stuff like that. Now, as soon as school starts, then we have a lot of school issues, of course, that can be concentration, ADHD, then blackouts at exams, a lot of school. Then when they have blackouts and they're blocked for math or French or whatever the topic is, then bullying today is also a big topic.
Yes.
And then you also have a lot of allergies, teeth grinding, and a lot of fears and phobias. And then when we go into the teenagers, very often it is the topic of self-worth, self-confidence. And since I'm a little bit a specialist, I get also very challenging cases in regard to self-mutilation, eating disorders, or even suicidal episodes. So I work with all topics, but that's about the range.
Yes, amazing. Wow. I mean, it brings me goosebumps. I wish I had a hypnotherapist in my childhood to remove my fear of math. I wish, but and this kid's getting help right away. They don't have to see a therapist in their future.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And that's why my credo is, every child should have a personal hypnotherapist.
Yes.
Because as you just said very correctly, that if we take off the problems from children in the early age, they can develop their full potential and they're not shy anymore. They're not bullied anymore. They're stronger. They can take decisions. Or so it's I'm touched that you got goosebumps.
Yes. And now this question is on behalf of therapists, hypnotherapists, coaches. What kind of trainings are available to learn hypnosis for kids, Barbara, through your institution, so that people can do this work in different countries?
Yes. As a matter of fact, due to the situation, the COVID, in the past 2 years, we took the entire training online in Europe. Okay. Before everything was live training, 3 days, live training with me. And then we went online, and in Europe now we have it all in German, the training, which is available. And in about 2 months, we go online with Hypno Kids in English. Wow. And it will be available. And what I would like to show, maybe some of you might recognize this. This is a Swiss Army knife, right? Yes. And that's a bit, I like to sort of compare metaphorically. I like to compare Hypno Kids, the training, to a Swiss Army knife. It's the training, and you have actually here there are 33 actually tools, right? So you get all the tools for everything. So and in the online training, it's 18 hours and it's about 80 videos, and it's like me, no PowerPoint, just me, where I train all this. And then I go into details exactly. How do I do bedwetting? How do I do allergies? How do I do fears and phobias? Wow. So people can go back and check it out again. So that's a bit the program.
Thank you for this beautiful gift to the world. I have one more question. How is training, learning, how to do hypnosis with kids, like your Hypno Kids training, different from clinical hypnosis, that is being used with adults?
With adults.
Yeah. How is
How?
this Hypno Kids training different from clinical hypnosis, the regular hypnosis?
Yes. Actually, it is not very different. It's just more playful.
Okay.
We activate the fantasy, the curiosity. And I think, for example, also, you know, something is the tools, they're just adapted for children. So I have all these downloads where we explain the subconscious mind, the critical faculty, the self-protection, long-term, short-term memory, and where is the home of the subconscious mind. I explain that. So I think it's just a matter of having the tools child adapted.
Okay.
So otherwise, I must say it is very similar. It's just adapted.
Wow. So thank you very much, Barbara, to clarify the misconceptions that is it safe or not, and this lovely tools and this lovely gift should be spread across the world so that every school has hypnotherapist to take care of the children. Just imagine the kind of world we will have. No more adults going to their therapist because the childhood is healed. Amazing.
Yes, yes. And you know, Nizam, you are a life coach, right? So when I went on YouTube, and it's amazing the collection of interviews you have. So you are an important piece of puzzle to spread hypnotherapy. And for this, I would like to thank you. You're a very good person. You have a good heart. And thank you very much for spending time with me.
And one last question. What is the secret behind your energy that you conduct 3-day workshops standing and so lively? So did you become a kid working with the kids?
Yes, that's actually, yeah, it's sort of, yes. It brings back our energy, and it's fun. And I guess I'm sort of a happy person. I think you are also a happy person. So yeah, I think it's a bit of that.
So friends, whoever is watching this, if you need more information about how to get trained or any other support, I'm making available all the website and other details of Barbara. So you can just contact directly and take it forward. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you. Thank you, Nizam, and everybody. Thank you very much.
Bye.